cut this polystyrene to line the inside, back and sides. You'll notice it's a little bit short at the top. That's to make them easier to get in and out, because I'm going to actually build most of this outside and then install it. It's just easier to get in when you're coating. And the gap, we'll close that up. We'll just wedge that up at the top, at the bottom, and it will close up the gap at the top. On the side panels, I've actually made them a little shorter than they need to be. That's to do with when we get a coating on the back, these would be slightly thicker. So it'll just allow us to get that in when the back's all coated up. And none of this is installed. We'll be fixing it at a later date. And the next thing I'm going to do is consider my basking platform, hides, etc. The height of this is going to depend on what bulbs you plan to use. I'm planning on using 14% Arcadia T5. I've used them before. I've got a solar meter so I can measure the perfect height. I'm just going to take my measurements off a Viv that I've actually got running already, which will give me the height where I want my basking platform to suit the animal that I'm putting in it. So I've roughed out this is going to be the hide. I've just I like to use this polystyrene. This one's 25mm, 50mm, or 2 inch and 1 inch. It's just modular, because you know that 2 of those equals 1 of those. Just makes life easier while you're constructing it. I like to add bits and pieces here and there. You'll see when you start cutting it that actually getting some height adds a little bit of interest, makes things look a little bit more natural. So I'm going to deconstruct this and start gluing it together. And to glue it, we're just going to use, this is from Wickes' own brand, instant grab adhesive, solvent free, no nails, same sort of thing. Doesn't have to be an expensive one. And we're going to take this apart. If you have a little look inside this hide, this is going to be the basking platform and a hide. Now you can just create one hide. I like to create 2 just to split it down the middle. I'll have 2 entrances, 1 on either end. This allows us to have a warm hide and a humid hide if needs be. You can just get in there, spray a bit of mist in there. You can make one humid every now and then if you need a humid hide. So we're just going to take this, sort of deconstruct this, put some glue on. You don't need to go mad with this glue. The beauty of this stuff, as opposed to silicone or say the stuff with solvent in, is that the hot knife that I'm going to use will actually cut straight through this even when the glue's gone off. Just makes life easier. So just going to stick a few of these bits together. Let's make a start. I'll stick the top on. I should take it apart and stick the rest together in a minute. But we'll just stick the top on there. It's all still movable. And then to sort of stitch it together a little bit, just use some bamboo barbecue skewers. I've got some of these ones. These were probably a little bit overkill, but that was all they had. You just stitch it through with a couple of skewers. If you do them at different angles, it'll hold it all together. Or you can leave these in position. Leave these in position. You can even coat it, but you leave them in, it'll add strength to it when it's built. You just snip the excess off. By the time you've coated it, you won't even know they're there, but it'll just hold it all together. So I'm going to take this apart, finish gluing it together, and then we'll have a look at shaping it. So I've spent about an hour on this now, cut some rocky shapes into it. What I've found previously on other builds is that cutting some deep parts on it kind of separates the rocks, makes it look more natural rather than being one big sort of lump. Now on this one I've hidden the hides in the sides, and there's one around this side, like a little get through under there. This will be nearer the front when it's done. Yeah, this hot knife, it's all cut with a hot knife. So just, you know, digging in. And something I always try to do is not, even though I use modular stuff, I try to make sure that nothing's at the same height or the same sort of distances from here to here or from here to here. So even though this is the 2-inch stuff, it's less than 2 inches because I've taken some off. The only place that I ever really struggle with now is the surface of the basking area, because this hot knife isn't very long. It doesn't actually reach very far in. I'm trying to, you know, I kind of end up cutting with the tip. So to put some sort of texture on here, dangerous, but be careful if you're going to do it. I just use a cooker lighter, is that what we call them? And I just sort of burn across the surface here and there, take it a little deeper in places, keeping the flame moving, so it doesn't actually catch fire. I'm just sort of melting the surface really, more than anything. So you can kind of see how that works. There's a bit with no texture on it. Just it kind of works really well, I find. Just to give a bit of relief here and there. You know, I'll still take the hot knife to it in places, just to give it some deep bits here and there. But I find this works really well. Just added texture really quickly. I've finished the hot side hide basking platform. I've actually altered it since last time I showed you. I've cut it back a bit here, make it a bit more natural. And we're going to work on the shelves, rock formations on the back. I've sort of set a cold hide up. All of these hides are removable because you want to be able to get your animal out if it decides to hide and you need to get it out. So I want to try and make it seamless. So I've only made a start on this one because I want to build some rock on top of here to help them get up onto the shelves. It's all going to be done in pieces, probably coat half of it before I put it together, but we'll get to that at a later stage. I'll just sort of oversize everything, just mark it up. I'm going to aim to put this in this corner, not sure on height yet, but I want to leave some gaps to create some shade. Different platforms, different heights, give them different choices of light, different choices of heat, because obviously it'll be warmer at the top, cooler at the bottom. I'm going to mark this one up and cut this out. This is actually a double thickness, but I'll probably add, you know, another bit on the front here and there, and try and create some sort of easy steps up to other levels. Sort of work it in as it goes. There's no hard and fast rules really. Just I'm aiming to create light and shade really. Shaded areas, light areas, higher areas, hotter areas, cooler areas. Yeah, it just, you know, comes as it comes really. I'll cut this out and make a start on this one and see where we go from there. I've now got the rough shape of the hide and the first rock formation shelf. I've added a few extra bits here and there just to add some height. This piece on this end is going to support the shelf that's going to run across the back. try and get it all supported so it's all nice and strong. The bit at the back there, this piece on this shelf at the back, I've actually cut a hole in the back of it, so when it goes into position there's actually a way up from the back, and just so that steps at the back there will just make life easier for climbing up and something for them to grab onto. I'm going to aim to incorporate the side panel as rocks as well, so I've added these pieces across the top here so I can kind of tie that to that, so that hopefully it will look like the rocks are all one piece from here sort of down onto this piece here. I'm just going to get cutting these now. I'm going to try and keep these back pieces, the bits where it's going to connect to the side panel, I'm going to keep them flat to just give us a good bond when we come to stick it in. So this area across the back here and this area across the back here, I'm going to shape everything. I'm not going to stick anything together. I am going to stick a few of the bamboo skewers through just to strengthen everything up. I'm going to shape everything on these parts here and then move on to another part. Had to move indoors today because the British weather, it's pouring down with rain. Anyway, I've finished the cool hide. This just removes, all hides are removable. Bit of support at the back. And I've got the first rock formation. It's not stuck to the wall, I've just stitched it in position because I want to make sure that the hide will pass anything that I build, leaving a bit of room to take whatever coating we put on. I'm going to add maybe 5mm of tile adhesive on top of this, so you've got to make sure you can get this out. There's no point building it and then going realising you can't remove something. This one's just stitched in with a couple of skewers just to hold it in place. The top of this one here I've left flat because I want to support the next shelf on it. I've got that one already roughed up, ready to go, well, ready to start cutting. So I'm going to try and keep that area there so that those two can join together nicely, support each other. Again, it's just make it up as you go along really. You want it a bit thicker in places, a bit thinner in places. Try and keep it a little bit random almost. Rocks aren't designed, they're random, aren't they? So I'm going to crack on and cut this one. I'm going to try and put something at the top as well, right up high, so that they can get right high and get out of any light, proper bit of shade. So I'm putting chuck wallers in this one. They love to be up high. Alright, so I'm going to cut this one and build on from there. I've done some of the shaping on this next shelf. I've also, well, I've already had it in once, but I took it back out to show you putting it back in. So this flat edge here, I want to try and incorporate those two together so they look like one piece of rock. So I left that one flat from the last clip, and that one's just going to sit on there. I've also had this in, and so now I'm going to cut it in position so I can try and make this rock look part of that, so it all becomes one thing. I've also come to the side here, so I was going to make the side incorporate that into the rock itself, so it rather than it being just stuck on a back, it all sort of comes as one piece. So I stuck some extra bits on, had this one in position, stuck some extra bits on, and then I've laid this in. So get that back into position. So now it all kind of feels like it's one and the same. I've got other enclosures that I've done in a similar fashion, and I like this kind of cutting backwards and forwards with the edge, so it's not flat. At the other side over here we'll have to leave this kind of straight because I don't want any climbing there, because that's where the heating's going. I don't want it to be able to climb up and get the heat in. But at this kind of works. I mean, this is just the start of it. I know everything's kind of going into position. I've wedged the side up at the bottom with a couple of packers down here, just so it meets at the top up there, so it's all in the position it's going to actually end up in. So now they can all kind of stay there for now. And get that one in, I'm going to put a little stitch in that one with the skewer and tie these two together, and then we'll move on again.